I don't think he's going to come back for it, but I would love. That's the only fight I would really like to see Khabib fight. There's no other fights in there that I want to see him fight. If Charles Oliveira had a bigger name, I would love to see that fight because stylistically, it's a fun fight for me because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. Yeah,
there's only one guy that has a bigger name than St. Pierre.
Mr. McGregor.
Oh yeah, Conor McGregor.
Conor.
Yeah, Conor. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. No, but yeah, I was talking about Charles. Charles doesn't have a big enough name. But stylistically, I'm a nerd. That's why I love fighting. I'm a nerd when it comes to the fight world, and I would love to see that fight because stylistically, it makes for a fun fight. Khabib and him.
Yeah, but here's the problem, and I am a fight nerd too, and I actually would love to see the fight.
You're more of a nerd than me.
I am. I admit it. But St. Pierre is 39 years old.
I know.
He's not the St. Pierre of the past. He can't be. I'm not saying he's not in great shape. He's always in shape. He's always training. But Father Time is going to take a little bit of that speed and what he had away. And so I'm not getting the St. Pierre of, prime if he's going to go against Khabib. And I don't know. I would love to see it, and I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm on that.
Feelings.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
But Josh, Khabib, and it just doesn't seem from what you say that he would come back for like an Oliveira or a even a Conor rematch. He doesn't care enough to do that just for the 30-0.
Well, from what just the interviews that they said they talked about is that, and Dana said in the show last night, was that he needs to see something that's impressive, somebody that sparks his interest. And the only person that I can see in there would be Oliveira that would spark his interest. He's already beat Gaethje. He's already beat Dustin. He's already beat Conor. He was supposed to fight Tony, but Tony's coming off 2 losses. Charles Oliveira, it would be the only guy that I would see that would spark his interest. Or if Conor was to fight Charles and was able to stuff and destroy everything he did, because I think he wants to see changes in the guys that he's fought and already beat. If you can show me that Conor McGregor is a better fighter than the time that I fought him, and he's got new tools, that sparks my interest. Same thing with like a Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje. If Justin Gaethje starts going out there and just subbing dudes that are top level guys, that now starts sparking your interest. I'm not saying that. I'm just, he wants to see guys change. Why would I fight the same guy that I beat? You haven't changed at all. You haven't evolved at all.
But you can't sit there and you say, I want to see change. Okay. You want to see change. How long do we wait for you to see that change to where you say, oh, I've seen it?
This is true.
It's a matter of, like, I don't want to say it in the fashion, but you either got to shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Meaning you're going to fight or you're going to get off the pot and hand that belt back and now let the weight class move on. Mm-hmm. You got to make that decision. Now he's got time to make the decision. I'm not saying he has to do it this week.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You've got some big fights coming up. He's got time to say, I'm gonna walk away. Or he's got time to say, you know what? I'm interested. I would like this fight.
Yeah.
And it's good that he gets to pick that. But there comes the point. All of this is just minutia.
Yeah.
It's all crap. It's Dana extending something out. And I'm not saying anything bad. He's got to keep people interested, but he didn't get an answer.
No.
So he came out saying, I got a maybe. Okay, you got a maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe means you got nothing. You're still in the same position you're in.
But the reality of it is that he's not holding up the division because Dustin needs to happen. Hooker and Chandler needs to happen.
Yeah, all of them do. That's why I say right now it doesn't matter.
The dust needs to settle. Like you said, we don't need a decision today. We don't need a decision by this month. We have to let the dust settle and see where this all plays out. And then these guys are all going to have to fight again.
You get to the end of March.
Yeah.
We should have an idea. Is Khabib going to fight again, or is the belt being relinquished?
Yeah, you should know after Hooker and Chandler fight, and then go back real quick, Dave. Sorry. After Hooker and Chandler fight, and Conor and Dustin fight, and you got Charles in the mix there. Who's going to be fighting for a vacant title or an interim title to fight Khabib? And then that'll let you know whether it sparks Khabib's interest or not, and who he would have to fight. If he says, hey, Charles Oliveira and Conor McGregor are going to fight, and if Charles wins, I will take that fight, But if Conor wins, I'll just vacate and leave and walk away. That would make sense. I mean, he's already beat him. He's already fought him. He doesn't sound like he wants to have repeat beats like where he fights the same person he's already beat to pad his record. He wants to fight new people that spark his interest. That's what I've got from the conversations. He's like, why would I fight any of these guys again? I've already beat them. If I beat him again, I was supposed to beat him again. It makes sense, especially when you're trying to go 30-0. You don't want to have 5 wins to the same guy. Okay. Oh yeah. Now you padded your record. You got 2 wins. I only fought this guy because I knew I could beat him to get me to 30-0. He doesn't want that. He wants new guys every single time. Charles Oliveira makes sense. It does. Or even a Michael Chandler. Are
you pushing the Charles Oliveira?
With that performance that he had, and hey, like you said, being on an 8-fight win streak and then potentially having to win again against somebody. And if he beats Conor, you can't tell me that I wouldn't put him into superstardom.
God damn, hold on. Now you've got him beating Justin because supposedly they're going to match him up with Justin.
Yeah.
And you've got him fighting Conor.
I mean, I'm saying if you're trying to get the fight out of Khabib, you'd have to have him beat Conor. I don't think him beating Justin would put him into the conversation of fighting Khabib.
But now you're talking, okay, so I want you to just
look spitballing here, man. Help me out, okay? I'm trying to
look at a time factor here.
I'm holding this conversation by myself, bro. Come on.
The Justin fight isn't even made yet, okay? So we're going to say that happens, we'll say in April, all right? So now Oliveira fights Justin. We'll say he beats Justin. It's in April. And now he's going to fight Conor. So what is that fight? July, we'll say.
Yeah.
So now it's in July. So we're talking Khabib's holding on to the belt, and he's not going to be fighting until sometime in fall.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I get you.
Too long.
This is what I think. This is really in an ideal world, what I would like is Conor and Dustin fight. Let's just say Conor wins. Charles and Conor fight to see who fights Khabib. That's what I think. And then if Chandler beats Dan Hooker, which I think Chandler will, and even though that sounded like it was vinegar coming out of my fucking mouth,
dude.
Okay, it's if
like
Chandler,
a Packy 1-chip challenge.
Exactly. Fucking throw up like an hour later. I'm like, ugh. But if Chandler beats Hooker, which I think he will, if he goes on, I think the fight to make after that would be him and Justin Gaethje. It'd be a fucking barn burner of a fight.
I think that'd be a great fight.
Exactly. So you put those two together, and I think you have an absolute amazing fight to see who fights the winner.
You are totally dismantling the Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje fight.
Yes. Yep. Charles has already said he didn't want that fight. He's like, no. He's like, he just got destroyed by a submission by Khabib. I'm on an 8-fight, but he's like, I'm on a win streak. I don't want to fight him. He's already turned it down. He says, I have no desire to fight him. He's like, no, I'm not going to fight a guy coming off of a loss. Yeah. So, I mean, I get that point. I understand that. I mean, he is kind of in the driver's seat with such a dominant performance he just had over Tony. So I would like to see him fight, and I would like to see Conor fight a good jiu-jitsu guy. That's the other thing. Like, let's see him fight a good jiu-jitsu side. Let's see him get somebody like that who's on an 8-fight win streak. It does make sense. It's not a smart take, I think, for Conor. I think he can beat Charles, but he'd have to definitely keep it on the feet. But can Charles get him down? If Charles gets to the body, Charles is tall, long, lanky, phenomenal on the ground. The way he was flinging Tony around, I was like, good God. I'm not saying he's going to do that to Conor, but I think it makes for an interesting conversation because people have always talked about Conor just fights padded guys. He only fights stand-up guys. They don't want to take a chance with him. And, the only wrestlers he ever fought outside of Khabib was Chad. Chad took the fight on 10 days notice or 5 days notice or whatever it was. Let's silence all the critics. Charles Oliveira had a great fight against Tony. He's had some great fights coming up. He's on an 8-fight win streak. Let's have him fight him next. And the winner of that fights Khabib. And if that doesn't happen, and then that puts Chandler against Justin probably next. And you get a barn burner of a fight. And then the winner of that will fight against the winner of Charles and Conor for the actual title. If Khabib's going to walk away. I mean, it does make sense.